Hi Rhonda, it's Katelyn. First of all, I love these images that you sent because they are they're very different than what you sent before, and I love looking at kid pictures because their eyes are so cute. So let's get started. First of all, I like what you did here. What you brightened the eyes and smooth out his little skin. He's a cutie. So what I'm thinking here is that I'm gonna just take this original image and well maybe I'll do it to this one and I'll just tell you a little bit of what I see. So I think the exposure of his face, this is perfect. I love this. Um, but as far as what you're going for, if you want a brighter image, like if I was editing this, I'd probably make sure the edges aren't too dark and I'd up the fill light even more. Almost make it to where it looks like it's overexposed, but it's not. And then we'll darken the shadows. And then the second thing to pay attention to is it's a little bit on the cold side. So I'm going to make it warmer, but I'm not just going to do that through the temperature. I'm also going to do it down here a little bit. So I'm just changing the color of the highlights. That's all I'm doing. Not very much, just a little bit. Okay, and that might look like, oh my gosh, that's so warm. But when you compare it to what we had before, let me show you. And I'm going to do side by side the difference. See how different that is? And really, we didn't make massive tweaks. We just changed a little bit of the color tone. So I really encourage you to look into getting to know this. Because all I did was 4% saturation on the highlights and the shadows, and it makes a world of difference. So I hope that's helpful. As far as composition, I love it. As far as focus and exposure, I really, really love it. So my main concern for this image is just the temperature of it. And so I hope that was helpful. And let's see, let's move on to this one. So cute. The light in this is awesome. And I love that you got rid of our little air filter over there. That's something that is good to notice and to fix because no one wants that in a print. So it's kind of hard to critique this because this is a really, really great image. And I think you edited it really well and you controlled the highlights really well. And so, gosh, I mean, if I was to change anything, I think you could add a little bit more pop to it if you wanted to, but if you don't want to, it's a perfect image as it is. So, some people can look at images and think, oh, I could tweak anything, even if it's perfect. But I'm not really good at that because I see this and I'm like, no, that's a really good image, and there's not much I can say. So I just made a few tweaks there just to make it pop a little bit more. But this is only if you think you need more of that in your style. So let's compare the two here, side by side. Come on. Okay, so is that the one I edited? No. Here we go. Okay, so I just made this pop a little bit more, and you probably can't even tell. Maybe you can tell a little bit. I upped the vibrance a little bit to make the blue a little bit bluer, and all the warm tones a little bit warmer. But I mean, seriously, I think it's just fine. So you should be proud of yourself because I don't really know what to say because it's so good. So let's move on to the next one because I'm excited to talk about this one. So this little guy is so cute, and so obviously this is your edited one. And I think, and depending on what type of screen calibration you're using, and maybe you like cooler looking images with more blues. But I think what I noticed here is when you edited this, you lost detail on his shirt a little bit. So if you pay attention to right here on him, the edited one starts to get a little bit overexposed. And so I'm going to take this image and I'm just going to edit it the way I would do it. Let's see, just gonna crop in a little bit. Make sure he's well exposed. Let's see. And another thing would be, if you're, and this is just a little thing, if you're shooting his whole torso, maybe include his hands. If not, then we should crop in so where it looks like, oh, you're not supposed to have his hands. Because his hands are right on the edge of, you don't know if they're supposed to be there, if they're not supposed to be there. So I would up the fill light, control the highlights so his shirt doesn't get overexposed. Darken the shadows a little bit. Alright? and lighten the darks. So, and to be honest, I think the white balance that you shot at was probably more accurate than this. Because when you compare the two of these side by side, sure, this is a little bit orange, but this is really blue. Okay, so I just think a more natural skin tone would be this coloring. That's just me, but you can take it or leave it. You could make this a little bit cooler, but I would leave it right about there, to be honest. And if you want a little bit more pop of color, you can up the vibrance about 8 or 10. So anyway, that's what I think about that. I think that looks more accurate for skin than this does. There's just a lot of blue tones to this. So I think that would print a lot better and it would be more accurate to what he really looks like in real life. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. I had fun editing this little guy. He's so cute. And I think even on this one, you could do even more with the split toning, really. So, because there's a lot of blue highlights and shadows in here. So anyway, that's something to think about. I hope it's helpful. Can't wait to see your images next week, and I hope you're having fun preparing for Christmas. Tell your doggy I said hello, and that Boca says hello, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.